body is so important in this practice, because the body, as we can see, it holds all the emotions and tensions, and in the body, and when I talk about the body, that includes the heart, mind. It's the storehouse of our interpretations and our perceptions. Yeah, yeah. So it's really important for us to work with the body. Yeah, and it may be for some of you standing in a shower to really kind of release some of that tension, and being in a shower or taking a long bath to soften the body. Yeah. So, yeah, again, a yawn is a silent scream. When we become dysregulated, inner compassion goes out of the window. And this is a practice of love. I like this practice of love. So we'll just go through this just very briefly. Love. So L stands for liking or loving an aspect of yourself. Yeah, and it could just be the color of your hair or the job that you do. And all of you like something about yourself, otherwise you wouldn't be here. So just touch in to something that you like about yourself. And the O stands for own your uniqueness. We're all unique. Not even identical twins are unique. We're all odd. We're all different. You know, sometimes we point our fingers at different people. We're all odd. We're all different. Own your disability. Own your ADHD. Own being on the spectrum. Own all those different oddities. That is our uniqueness. We're all on the spectrum, somewhere on the spectrum. Just own your uniqueness. And the V stands for validate your existence. So again, placing a hand anywhere on the body and feel the warmth of your hand, validating your existence. So often we're waiting for other people to validate us, and we could be waiting forever, waiting for that compassion forever. That's icing on the cake. All we need to do is for us to begin to own our uniqueness, validate our existence, feel the warmth of your hand, validating your existence, and inviting you, the E, to embrace this moment now. This moment now, as you are giving yourself some inner love, some inner compassion, love, 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 loving and liking an aspect of yourself, owning your uniqueness, validating your existence, and embracing this precious moment, this present moment, this precious moment, this present moment. Yeah, and having some empathy towards yourself. Because when we're dysregulated, we are not in that window of tolerance. And sometimes I actually say that to myself. I think, oh, let me see if I can put myself in that window of tolerance. Because when I'm out of that window of tolerance, I've become disconnected. I've shut down. I've isolated, and I'm keeping people out there. And sometimes I can be so far out of that window of tolerance that actually I'm beginning to beat myself up. Yeah. So, again, this is what it looks like. So for you, if you're not sleeping well and you're irritable and there's cynicism and distracted and emotional exhaustion, we're not in that window of tolerance. So that's a sign. It's like, wow, I'm out of that window of tolerance. Maybe I just need to put a hand on my body, or maybe I just need to do some straw breathing. Those of you who weren't here, I'm teaching on our first session together to purse your mouth as if you're drinking through a straw. And breathing in and out of a straw. Just realizing, wow, we're not in that window of tolerance. And we'll know when we're back in that window of tolerance, because we'll feel relaxed, we'll feel content, we'll feel compassionate with ourselves, and we'll be more acceptance of our reality. Yeah. We take a moment to pause, a moment to slow down. Just again, inviting you to bring to mind that thing that opens up your heart. Yeah. I'm going to bring to mind a baby's smile. I love seeing tiny babies, and they smile and they fascinate and they look up at you, and just, yeah, and I'm smiling now, and it just opens up my heart. I'm just going to touch into that and inviting you to touch into whatever it is that opens up your heart, and breathe and breathe. Yes, this is a quote from the Dalai Lama. I think it's an important quote, that love and compassion are necessities. They're not luxuries. And without them, humanity cannot survive. And we can see that happening out in the world, and in a way, when we don't have that love and compassion, we are often in the hell realm of our minds, in the hungry ghost realm of our minds. And we can't exist for long in those places. Yeah. So just really wanted to say something about compassion fatigue, because some of you may be in jobs where you experience compassion fatigue or vicarious trauma. And what I want to say about this is that whenever I put the label on something, oh, I'm experiencing compassion fatigue, or I've got some vicarious trauma, that is just telling me that there's something unresolved in me that needs to be paid attention to. That's all it's telling me. And sometimes we get really lost in this compassion fatigue, and and it's disturbing our dreams, and we can't sleep. And those are things that can put us out of that window of tolerance. However, if we can think, oh, wow, actually, there's something in me that hasn't been resolved, something I need to look at. And, that's the opportunity to reach out to a therapist, to a coach, or even to a friend to explore what it is. And I'm telling you, that's what it's alerting to, that there's just something in us that's been triggered in us. Yeah. And it's creating all these symptoms of anxiety, etc. However, it's just telling us that actually it's something that just needs to be resolved. And I'll give an example. Remember a few years ago, I seemed to be having all these clients who wanted to work with sexual abuse, and I was just finding it really uncomfortable. And then I just thought, oh, wow. And I booked myself 12 IFS sessions just to explore what was unresolved. And I was able to sit back in that heart seat so differently and not be out of that window of tolerance. Yeah. So the benefits of inner compassion. There's so much, but I think the number one is that we just feel good about ourselves. The number one is that we're not waiting for somebody to pat us on the back and say, well done. We're not waiting for somebody to give us compassion. I know when I put myself in a place of waiting, I go right out of that window of tolerance. I get really anxious. I get, and it's just a horrible place to be. And that's when I know actually I need to give myself the compassion. Whatever I'm waiting from the other person, if I'm waiting from approval, I need to give approval to myself.